Well, our heroes have met up again with Captain Peter Peachfuzz, much to their dismay. For in trying to land his helicopter, the good captain pulled the wrong lever and the blades flew off into space. After that, the helicopter dropped like a stone toward the desert floor.
You better bail out, Captain.
I didn't know we were leaking.
No, I mean you better parachute.
A moment later, our friends left the stricken aircraft, and while Rocky zoomed lightly through space, 2 parachutes blossomed on the desert sky. Unfortunately, the captain had put his on upside down. He descended in a rather unorthodox way. As a result, all manner of things, money and papers, began to rain from his pockets.
Get them, Rocky, get them!
Rocky zoomed off and a few seconds later returned with a handful of greenbacks.
Here you are, sir. I caught your money.
Money? Who needs money? I lost my credit card.
But the credit cards weren't all that was lost, as our friends discovered after they landed.
What do you mean? What else is lost?
Well, I don't like to say it, Bullwinkle, but we are.
Yes, hopelessly turned around since their dizzying airplane flight, the boys had now no idea of which way to go.
It really doesn't matter. I've got to follow you no matter where.
Follow us? How come?
Yeah, and why aren't you in uniform?
And Captain Peachfuzz told his blood-chilling story. It seems that on his return from his last voyage as master of the SS Andalusia, he had made a slight miscalculation in docking.
Full speed ahead!
And as a result, sailed his ocean liner right into the middle of New York's financial district.
I say, Bradbury, isn't that the Andalusia?
Nonsense, old boy. She's not due to dock for an hour yet.
As a result of a typical Peachfuzz error, the Andalusia wound up wedged tightly between 2 tall office buildings on Wall Street. And there she remained, for it was the first time in history that financiers could take a winter vacation and watch the market at the same time.
I see the barometer's down 2 points.
Yes, and so is universal spleen.
Matter of fact, the Andalusia became so popular that she was given an address 17.5 Wall Street, and to this day is a trusted member of the financial community.
Besides being the only banking firm with portholes.
Well, that was fun for New Yorkers, but of course the end of Captain Peachfuzz's sailing. For one day, he was piped over the side by the board of directors and summoned to a meeting of the U.S. Maritime Commission.
Congratulations, Peachfuzz. You have been promoted to Q2.
Q2? What is that? Is that good?
It's a big deal in the Cold War, Peachfuzz.
The Cold War?
Yes, you are in sole charge of counting penguin eggs at the South Pole.
But why, sir?
There wasn't any place further away we could send you.
And so Captain Peachfuzz's orders were typed. But the typist, a niece of the captain's, made one little mistake. She hit a G instead of a Q, and Peter Peachfuzz became head of G2, the American Intelligence System. Immediately, he issued new orders.
All right, Agent 7, follow Agent 9. Agent 4, you watch Agent 2.
Yes, inside of a week, the good captain had every American secret agent hard at work following some other American secret agent.
That's why, Peachfuzz. Why?
Well, it gives them a feeling of togetherness.
That's all very interesting, Captain.
You say trifle long.
But why do you want to follow us?
It is because of Bullwinkle's mine.
What about it?
It's vital to our defense, is what about it.
What's so important?
I'll tell you only one word and you will know.
Yes?
The word is Upsidaisium.
Upsidaisium?
Well, that's the word, all right, Upsidaisium. But what in the world does it mean? We'll find out next time in You've Got a Secret, or Out of Sight, Out of Mind.
Oh, by George, that's a good one.
What's so funny, Pop?
Oh, it's you, Junior. Well, I'm laughing at a joke, that's all.
Somebody came by and told you a joke, huh?
No, nobody came by. I heard the joke 2 years ago.
And you're still laughing at it?
Well, I just got the punchline, that's right.
Look, I don't want to sound disrespectful, Dad, but aren't you a little slow? I mean, 2 years.
Now, wait a minute, son, wait a minute. You're forgetting one of my most popular proverbs. He who laughs last laughs best.
I smell a fable coming up.
Which reminds me of a fable.
There, you see?
Not too far away and not too close either, there was a desert, the driest, most uninhabited piece of real estate you ever saw. Outside of the sand, the only thing that moved was two jackrabbits who were prospecting for gold.
Hey, look at that, Charlie. You know what that is? That is high-grade dirt.
Date?
Dirt. But don't you worry, old pal. One of these days we'll strike it rich. Come on, let's get some water.
The only wet spot in the entire desert was a small outdoor restaurant operated by an industrious mule. The only thing the mule sold was water, which he procured from a nearby well.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. And how are we today?
We are hot and dry.
So give us each a pitcher of water.
I would like to comply very much with your wishes, but so far you have drunk 80 pitchers of water and you haven't paid me a cent.
Look, we told you we'd pay you when we hit gold, didn't we? Besides, Charlie has got a present for you.
He has? Oh, well, that's different. Here's your water. Where's my present?
Here.
He fell for it. He fell for it. Hey, that was a good one, Charlie.
And the following day found the jackrabbits back on the job. And just like the day before, they eventually wound up at the mule's restaurant.
No, I regret to say you get no water unless you pay for it.
Look, Mule. Charlie's awful sorry about the cigar joke yesterday. Ain't you, Charlie?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, to make up for it, I went into town. I bought you a real good one. Here.
Well, I suppose it would be silly of me to hold a grudge. Very well. You can have your water today. Are you sure this cigar is good?
It's good, all right. Good and powerful.
You did it, Charlie. You did it. You went and fooled them again.
Now, on the following day, a very strange thing happened. Acting on a hunch, the two jackrabbits took a sample of dirt into the assayer's office and were told it contained not only gold, but silver, uranium, and even lanolin. And they were rich.
That's right, Mule. Me and Charlie are billionaires.
Here, have a cigar.
No, you don't.
Look. Flem and me are leaving for France. And before we go, we thought we'd try and make up for all the nasty tricks we played on you.
No cigars, please. Just pay me the money you owe.
Mule, you hurt me, honest.
Oh, very well. But I warn you. Say, this is good.
I told you. Well, Flem, let's go.
You know, I'm kind of proud of you, Charlie. For a minute there, I thought you was going to give that mule another exploding cigar.
Oh, fun's fun, Flem, but after all...
Well, sir, no one can have more fun in Paris than two jackrabbits, especially if they're rich.
Ah, this is what I call real living. By the way, how long have we been here?
2 years and 11 days.
Ah, this is living all right.
Sure is. Only we better go a little easier on our money.
How much have we got left?
$1.50.
Well, the spree was over. There was nothing left to do but to return to the desert and dig for more gold.
This is hard work. Let's quit and get some water.
Nice to see you, Mule. By the way, I brought you a present all the way from Paris. Here.
The mule took one look at the cigar and promptly headed for parts unknown. As for the jackrabbits, they decided to get their own water. But can you imagine their surprise at finding the well empty?
Hey, Mule, come back.
Let us out of here.
So the mule had the last laugh after all. And that's why I say, he who laughs last laughs best.
Gee, that's a swell fable, Pop. And a pretty good moral, too.
Yeah, only a pretty good one?
Well, I can think of a better one.
All right, let's have it.
You never miss the waiter till the well runs dry.
You never did. Oh, Junior.
see where we stand today.
Yeah, let's.
Bullwinkle inherited a mine from his Uncle Dewlap. A mysterious stranger high in a helicopter began to follow him and Rocky. He turned out to be Captain Peter Wrongway Peachfuzz, the new head of American intelligence. But Captain Peachfuzz is still up to his old wrong-way tricks, and he almost immediately wrecked the helicopter. Everybody got down to earth all right, but now they're all lost in the middle of the what desert is this?
I don't know. You got a map, Bullwinkle?
Nope. Maybe Captain Peachfuzz knows where we are.
Of course I do, Bullwinkle. I have a map right oh, dear.
What is it?
My papers. They're all gone.
Then nobody knows where we are.
Not quite true, for at that moment, not too far away, that notorious reprobate, Boris Badenov, was picking up all of Peachfuzz's papers.
There's driver's license, expired 1926, and here is map of desert, and right next to this little... Oh, boy!
What kind little who boy is that, darling?
Natasha Honeybun, we hit jackpot.
Is Dean to Moose's mine?
Better yet, is Peachfuzz's identity card.
You collecting autographs?
You don't understand. Peachfuzz is head of G2.
So?
So, I merely change picture like this, and behold, the new head of G2. Oh, I can see it now, Natasha. Secret agents bring me reports. I sell them direct to consumers, no middlemen. I retail books full of secret information, $100 each. Pocket editions, 25 cents. Eventually, I set up discount houses for spies all over the world. Money will roll in, millions. Then I'll have to do bookkeeping, add up thousands of figures, work late at night, figure payroll deductions, pay income tax, profits, tax. Phew, it isn't worth it.
Okay, but how do we get Dean to Moose's mine?
You forget, Natasha. They are lost. We have map. We trade.
But won't they be suspicious of you?
Ha ha, silly girl.
And so, just a little while later...
Gee, if we could only find somebody who knows this area, somebody who lives here.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Who in the wide warm world are you?
Abu Ben Boris, wealthy desert chief at your service.
Abu Ben Boris?
You've heard of me.
Yeah. Didn't your name lead all the rest one time?
That's me. And this is Fatima, queen of the harem.
But you're Arabs.
What did you expect to find in Arabia, darling?
Arabia? Then this desert must be...
Yes, the Sahara.
Now, wait a minute. You said this is Arabia. The Sahara's in Africa.
I bought it last week. They just delivered it.
Boy, he must be rich.
Come this way.
And the wily Boris led them to a strange-looking tent in the middle of the burning sand.
Keep your eyes open, Bullwinkle. This may be a trap.
I'll be careful, Rock.
But just then, Bullwinkle's sharp eyes spotted somebody in the distance.
Hey, what's he doing here?
What's who doing here?
Him. He looks to me like a strictly American-type prospector.
He's just mirage.
Mirage?
Of course, optical illusion. For instance, it's broad daylight, no?
Of course it is.
And yet, don't you think you see stars?
Yeah, how about that? And what's more, I'm sleepy.
And Bullwinkle slumped to the sands as Boris drew an evil-looking scimitar from his belt and stalked into the tent after Rocky. Oh, whatever you do, don't miss our next episode, Boris and the Blade, or Chic, Rattle, and Roll.
Hello there. Today's poem is the beloved old nursery rhyme, Rocky My Baby. Rocky my baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks...
Hold it! Hold it! You out of your mind, Moose?
More unusual, GJ.
All right, get that cradle down here.
But, GJ...
Look, this is a family show. No babies stuck in trees.
No.
We'd have the Baby Protection League on our necks in a minute.
Well, it's just a doll, really.
Who writes this stuff anyway?
Mother Goose.
Hello? Give me continuity. CP? We got a woman named Goose on the payroll. Uh-huh. Get rid of her. Yeah, the gander's gotta go too.
But the poem...
Sorry, too much violence.
But I like violence.
You like violence? You mean you like explosions? Trees falling? People being hit in the head?
No, I like violence because they smell so nice.
While the great mass of Canadian people were living with a certain amount of tranquility in the upper lower northwest-east region of Canada, a devilish plan was being hatched by that arch-villain Snidely Whiplash.
A plan, Homer, that will give us complete freedom to do the nasty little things we do.
And they're nasty.
Well, I'm going to print a fake newspaper reporting that I, Snidely Whiplash, am Dudley Do-Right's younger brother.
Younger?
Well, of course, you wouldn't expect me to say I was his older brother, would you? And Dudley, being such a sentimental fool, we'll be able to do all the mischief we want to. That's the Canadian way.
In a short time, Whiplash had put his evil scheme to work.
There, that ought to do the trick.
So Homer, disguised as a newsboy, rode off to the RCMP camp to deliver the paper to Dudley.
Paper, mister?
I say, that was about the ugliest newsboy I've ever seen. I'll just catch a quick look before I give it to the inspector. Always like to see how Renfrew is making out. What? I can't believe it, but it's in the paper. It must be true. Snidely Whiplash found to be Dudley Do-Right's younger brother.
Dudley Do-Right, get in here.
Oh, yes, sir, Inspector, and have I got news. Wait till you hear this, Inspector.
Later, Dudley, what I want to talk to you about is a man so sneaky, deceitful, and downright rotten that it disgusts me to mention his name. You know who that man is, Do-Right?
Is it Sandy Simpson who runs that shady ice cream parlor? I saw him the other day, sir.
Of course it isn't Simpson. It's Snidely Whiplash.
You mean that clean-cut chap?
Are you feeling all right, Dudley?
Straightforward eyes, a firm chin, and just a hint of dimples around his cupid bow mouth?
That's enough, Dudley. I want you to bring that sneaky snake in, do you hear? And on the double.
The next day, Snidely was preparing to blow up the hotel when...
Baby brother!
Oh, hiya, Dudley.
Oh, you naughty boy. I don't know how to tell you this, but blowing up hotels isn't worthy of a Do-Right. You see, besides being your big brother, I'm also a Canadian Mountie. So you see, I have to take you to see Inspector Fenwick.
You did it, Dudley. You brought in that loathsome, repulsive, obnoxious...
Now, just a doggone minute there. Sir, I won't have you talking about my baby brother that way.
Your what?
Go on, kick him, beat him. Don't you realize that all his life he's been kicked and beaten emotionally? And it's all my fault.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I'm quitting the force, Inspector, because I've learned blood is thicker than water.
So Dudley decided to give Snidely the one thing he'd been denied in his childhood, mother love. First, he dressed him in a Lord Fauntleroy suit.
Now we'll have to do something about this shack. There now, did you wash behind your ears? Let me see.
Come on now, Dudley, a joke's a joke.
All right, you can run out and play, but remember, I'll be watching you, and if I see you with that awful Homer boy, you'll have to stay indoors for a week. And no Winnie the Pooh.
Whoa-wee.
Hey, Snidely.
You remember what happened the last time Dudley saw us together?
Yeah, you had to stay indoors for a week.
Yeah, and no Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, he's a regular Dr. Spruck.
I'd have been better off in a stockade. There must be a way out of this.
Whom are you talking to whom, baby brother?
Nobody, big brother Dudley. Listen, Homer, you've got to print a retraction. Say the whole thing was a mistake, that I'm not his brother after all. It's the only way out of this mess.
Okay, baby.
And don't call me baby brother.
Ah, the evening paper. Just see how Renfrew's getting along.
Aren't you going to read the front page, Dudley?
Oh, no, I've stopped reading the front page. Those headlines are too depressing.
Curses foiled again.
But realizing that the RCMP camp could no longer do without Dudley Do-Right, the inspector's daughter Nell went to see Dudley and try to bring him back.
Dudley Do-Right, the whole RCMP camp misses you. Why don't you come back?
How can I, Nell? I've got responsibilities, but you could do one thing for me.
What is that?
Give my horse these lumps of sugar. Here, I'll wrap them in this paper.
But as Dudley started to rap, he started to read.
Snidely Whiplash and Dudley Do-Right are not brothers. Then I've been the victim of a ghastly hoax. Ooh, that does rouse my ire.
His ire roused, he waited for Snidely.
Big brother Dudley.
And so, Inspector, it turned out Snidely Whiplash wasn't my brother after all.
Well, did you bring in Snidely Whiplash?
Not entirely, Inspector, but I did bring part of him.
What part?
His mustache.
Well, Homer, I lost a big brother, but I also lost most of my upper lip.
You look terrible, boss.
Yeah, but you know something?
What?
It was worth it.
looks as if our friends will never get to Mount Flatten and Bullwinkle's mine, for they have just met up with their old nemesis, Boris Badenov, disguised as a wealthy desert chieftain.
Abu Ben Boris at your service.
What's more, on the pretext of showing him a mirage, Boris has sent Bullwinkle to Dreamland, drawn a wicked-looking sword, and followed Rocky and Captain Peach Fuzz into his tent.
Can you lead us out of this desert, Mr. Abu Ben Boris?
Call me Benny.
Well, can you?
You said it, Effendi. Well, let's get started then. There's only one little hitch.
What's that?
You ready to pay?
Pay? Where's all that desert hospitality I've heard so much about?
Oh, I'm hospitable. You can stay as long as you like, free from charge. But what if we want to leave?
And we do.
Then you pay. Very well. Here's all the money I have. Money. Who needs money?
We do, darling.
Shut up your veil, Fatime.
Well, what do you want?
You got any other valuables? Jewels, deed to mines?
Deeds to mines?
I'm just spitballing, you understand?
Yeah, we got one of those.
Well, then we're in business.
But it belongs to Bullwinkle.
No, so quick we're out of business.
Say, where is Bullwinkle?
Oh, he's right out there.
Sure enough, Bullwinkle was right out there, out like a light.
Bullwinkle, old pal, speak to me.
Howdy, stranger.
Stranger? Bullwinkle, it's me, Rocky.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Rocky.
He doesn't know me. Bullwinkle, don't you remember? We're on the way to your Uncle Dewlap's mine.
Mine?
Sure. Don't you have the deed?
You know, you're pretty nosy for somebody I just met.
Rocky, I do believe he has amnesia.
Yeah.
Never mind that. Does he have deed to mine?
Looks like we'll never know, Boris. He's lost his memory.
If they don't have deed to mine, who needs them? Well, we must be off. But you can't leave us to perish in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Watch carefully.
And with one mighty swipe of his scimitar, Boris cut the guy ropes of the tent. Instantly, it collapsed on Rocky and Captain Peach Fuzz.
Well, now they can't follow us. Let's go, Natasha. I'm the sneak of Araby.
And the two villains hurried off across the desert, leaving our heroes floundering under the folds of canvas. But at that moment, one of the tent poles toppled over and struck Bullwinkle on the head.
Goodness, I must have overslept. Hey, who's in there?
It's us, Bullwinkle. Get us out.
With a surge of mighty moose muscle, Bullwinkle lifted the whole tent up, and Rocky and Captain Peach Fuzz emerged, none the worse for wear.
Hiya, Rock.
Bullwinkle, you recognize me.
You got your memory back.
Your mind isn't a blank anymore.
Well, let's not go overboard, Rocky.
I knew we shouldn't have trusted those two.
You know, I bet they weren't Arabs at all.
They were just after the deed to your uncle's Upsidaisium mine.
Yeah. Where is the deed, Bullwinkle?
Where I always put things for safekeeping.
Where's that?
Behind my left antler.
Hooray! You got the deed that they were after. Now let's follow their footsteps out of this desert.
And a hearty little band began to follow Boris and Natasha's footprints in the sands of crime. Unfortunately, as they marched across the shifting dunes, the wind began to blow harder.
Bullwinkle, the wind is erasing their footprint.
Yes, in just a gusty minute, there wasn't a trace of a footprint to follow, and our friends were once more completely lost in the desert. Will they survive the rigors of the desert night? Be with us next time for Sourdough Squirrel or Hard Rock Rocky.